hi, my beautiful IP Resilience family and friends. And this is again your favorite Ilona, and having in front of me like perfect again a guest that I was looking after, hunting after the person to make sure to that I catch him, so I will be able to squeeze his brain, so he will be able to share about where he came from, his experiences, and how he can ignite your future. And in front of me, I have Brett, and he is the special speaker. He's also best-selling author, and he has a most amazing story that we will be sharing with you today. And Britt, hey man, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing today? Awesome. Nice to see you again.
I know, I know. This is where we met, guys. We met in a Dallas while we were filming. We were doing like a special interviews as well, and he was part of my show there as well. So I was so excited. And Britt, you looked so amazing with your biceps. You know,
I just
you
got out of
came
the gym
there
an
like
hour ago.
I know, right, right. You came like a bodyguard. I was like around you, like, okay, she's my bodyguard. And people were like, okay, don't mess with her. She's protected. And so that was so much fun. So, but Britt, behind of you have this special, like collection. So tell us about your special collection, and then we're gonna ask you about your book.
Sure. So my office looks like this all the way around, actually. So I grew up a kid and I loved rock and roll, 80s rock. And in my book, 80s rock starts in the very beginning and goes to the end. So it kind of carries me through my days of life. But I have a lot of friends in the rock and roll industry, a lot of bands like Quiet Riot, Whitesnake, Pantera. I was partners with Vince Neil, Motley Crue. So I have a lot of collector stuff in here that I've collected since I've been a kid. And behind me, you can see those little square emblems back there. I actually have saved every ticket stub going back to 1986 to my very first concert, and I have over 500 stubs. So rock and roll has been a big passion of mine all through my life.
And your book, you published the book, very influential. When I saw that, it was just boom. You were very like mind, like you were very direct with your message. You were very direct with your even title. And the title, it says what? Here I go again. If you have a book, can you please like show
Yep.
us your book, please? Yes. And please flip the back side. I want you to show the back
Oh,
cover as well. Yes. So that's awesome. This is so you. This is so you. And in this book, you're telling your story. You kind of like people see the facade like a strong, mighty guy, like a bodyguard. Like I said, you're like, hey, don't mess with me. But you are letting people into your world. So tell us, how did it feel to let people see who you really are, and what is your main message in the book?
sure. So first of all, about being, my size and bald, people think that I'm perceived as maybe arrogant or maybe a mean person, but when they get to know me, I'm just the opposite. But I wrote this book. I've been asked for years to write a book because people saw me in my rock and roll life, but really that really wasn't what I really want to write about in general. But I have been through a lot of things in my life that a lot of people have not experienced. My book basically, it has rock and roll through it again, and it helps me get to the next level of life because my passion, it lifted me. But I've had some things where I grew up with an abusive father to my mom, and my father wasn't around very long. So basically, I've grown up most of my life without my father, and I saw things as a kid that a lot of kids shouldn't see. As I got older, I fell in love with a lady who was married. She was separated but married, so adultery. We got pregnant right off the bat, and she chose to not have my child, which was very, very hard. I tell that story in my book. We got pregnant again after she was divorced. She was in a car accident, lost the second child, and that relationship was pretty rough. And after 4 years, I moved on. But my point, I got knocked down, I got back up. I got knocked down, I got back up. And my book is about going through life's heartaches or challenges, adversities, and you get back up and you keep plowing. Later, after that, I got a text one night. Facebook, it came out, and you put your number on there in 2009. And I got a text in 2009 that said, must be nice to live the life you live, travel the world, hang out with rock stars, have a nice life, have a Harley, have nice cars. why us less fortunate have to suffer. And like, who is this? So
Oh,
I followed up next day with a call, with a text, and I found out I had a 15-year-old daughter. And let me tell you, there's no book to read about how to approach that. I met her when she was 17, and her family did not really approve at all of me or my family associating with her. And it was very rocky for a handful of years. And basically, she has moved on and has nothing to do with me or my family. So very heartfelt. So basically, I've had, 3 chances to have children in my life. 2 are no longer here, and 1 that doesn't have anything to do with me. And it's very hard as a man. And I'm 50 years old, probably never have kids again. So in my book, I tell how I felt during all of these situations. And look, my book has language, it's real, it's raw, but I wrote it to help people who experience things like this. And then it goes into always want to be a rock star, I told you. My hero was the lead singer of the band Motley Crue. I moved to Las Vegas for work in 2014. He lived there, and I said, I'm going to be his friend.
mm,
And in 3 weeks, we met. And about a month later, we became business partners in an arena football team, the Las Vegas Outlaws. And within a month of being partners in that business, I knew I had just made the biggest mistake as I entered the roller coaster ride from hell. And I learned so much because as a man, believing in God, I wanted to be that man. I did. And God's like, here you go, son. And within a year, lost all my money. The team folded. Debauchery, rock and roll, sex, alcohol, you name it. In that 1 year was one of the most interesting times and learning experiences of my life. And it knocked me to my knees. And I realized that when I left Las Vegas a year later to pursue another job, that God taught me a lesson. Son, you stay in your own tree in life. You follow me, you don't follow someone else. And as people, I think we all get caught up with, we're influenced by people in Hollywood or singers or athletes. And I got to go live that life. And I learned the hard way that that's not what life's all about. So that's my book in journal. But at the end of my book is basically Sunset Strip, Los Angeles, California. I'm on the stage at the Whiskey A Go-Go where rock and roll started. I'm in the famous green room where Van Halen and Janis Joplin and Stones, all these people played at. And I go on the stage and introduce a band that was on my wall as a kid. And it was pretty fulfilling. So it kind of goes through the kid to the end and everything in between. And it's very heartfelt. And hopefully one day it'll be a movie. But I wrote it to help people. And the feedback has been phenomenal. And the people that have written me and called me and says, you touched me in so many ways. You've helped me identify demons that I have left in my closet that I have now opened the door and kicked out of my life. You made me cry. You made me laugh. You made me realize that, stay in my own tree. So it's been amazing, the feedback. And the feedback is exactly what I wanted in writing the book, to help people.
Britt, you have just shared your entire life like in 5 minutes, and I got the goosebumps and the chills just sitting and listening to it. It takes the boldness, it takes the courage for somebody like you to come out of, let's say, closet and share such a pivot moment, maybe even embarrassing moment from the guy who is perceived like you, like, hey, don't go with him. He can, put you to shame and such like that. So for you, it probably was like special for you to even do that. So let me ask you a question. If you were giving advice to your young self, knowing what you know now, what would you tell to yourself?
Well, I guess I could say that I wouldn't really, I wouldn't change anything in my life to where I'm at today, because I am a good man from what I've learned. But to tell myself is basically probably stop and think before I make decisions. Probably do some research before I pull the trigger. I've learned not to be a knee jerker, think things through, sleep on it. So as I've gotten older, I've learned to be patient, understanding, and think things through versus reaching for the moment without thinking. I am a risk taker, no doubt about it. And, when I wrote this book, I knew it was going to be very risky because it's, like I say again, it's real life, it's raw. It does contain real language in life. And I worked in the corporate world. And I knew when I released this book that some people may not like what I had to say. And after 2 weeks of my book being published, here I go again. The company I worked for did not like the content. And so I was a liability to the company, and they fired me 2 weeks after my book. Now, I prayed that, God, if this book can go out to print, if I can help people wherever this book takes me, I'm okay. And my life took an immediate right turn. And I'll be honest with you, it's been about 2 months since that day happened. I got let go, and my life has changed. I've never felt better. I have no fear of what's going to happen. I'm learning how to speak on a stage. I'm selling books. It's opened so many new doors for entrepreneurship of things that I've always wanted to pursue. So you know what? They did me a favor. This book has done me a favor. God's done me a favor. And the things I've gone through life to help people, it's been phenomenal. It's been rewarding. And it gets me teared up because I was scared, because you put your life out. My mom told me, she said, son, you're fixing to put your whole life out there. And a lot of people know you very well, but they don't know you as you're about to tell them. And it was scary, but every day I get messages from people, and it makes me feel great knowing that I've touched someone's life.
Makes so much difference when you find your life purpose finally. Sometimes we do have to be bended, we do have to be broken in one. We would probably be rejected, like you got rejected from your job and they did not accept your wholeness, who you really are, because we do cater sometimes to the world, hey, this is a half of me, know who I am, but not everybody wants to know and get to know the real person they work with, and not everybody learns to appreciate of every talent that you have and every talent that maybe we have. So I'm glad that sometimes that you are standing right now, that you see your past and you see, hey, I've done it. I'm not regretful of what they did. I'm not responsible for their mistakes or maybe their decision, but it led me to who I am today, and I'm grateful. So I'm sure, like, when they let you go, you were like, oh my gosh, you wanted to really be very honest with them and let them know what you really think. But today,
I did.
I know, I've read your books. I mean, I know the language you use there. Come on, Britt, and that's what I love about you. You're real, you're authentic, you're bold, you're courageous, and that's why people gravitate towards you. That's why when I saw you, first, like, okay, that's the muscle man, but I learned not to let appearances, determine the personality. So despite of that, when I start talking to you, you were like this big, huge teddy bear that, everybody wants to be around. And I felt
Right.
so safe, so cool. We had so much fun in the studio. You did such a great, interview. And then on a red carpet, you look phenomenal, like a bodyguard. You were like, so like, okay, security guy, like that's so cool. And I loved it so much, Britt. So tell me this, or tell us, what have you not accomplished yet? What are your dreams, goals, inspiration?
That's a great question. So I've spent most of my entire life since I was 18 to this past year in the liquor industry, the alcohol industry.
Mhm.
And I've always been on the side of the fence of selling someone else's product. I have a meeting this Sunday, 2 days from now, with 3 groups of people that have the same dream that I do of creating our own brands, building a Texas distillery. And I've met with each one of the groups several times in the past month, and I'm bringing everybody together on Sunday. And this could be real. This could come to fruition. And really, I mean, I could have be part of my own brand in 2022. So that's one thing I've always wanted to do. It's happening. It's because of the book. The second thing is I've always kind of, in my career, I've always given speeches, but I did it in front of people at work. I'm talking to salespeople and I'm talking about somebody else's product. I'll always visualize talking about my own product, whether it be my own liquor product or myself. And it's so easy when you speak about yourself because you speak real and you speak through your heart. And to see people's faces when you touch them is rewarding. So what I'm saying is there's things happening right now in my life that I've always wanted to do, and those doors have opened. So right now I'm about to walk into these places, and I'm so excited where this is going to take me, because it's only going to take me to places that I've always just dreamed of. And then, who knows? One day maybe a movie. I'm hoping so, So
That is amazing. This is what I've learned, for myself, with myself, through myself, that dreams are not dreams unless they scare you. Your dreams need to scare you because you don't know how. As long as you know your why, I think the how will come together to make it happen. So, and this, you are such a guy. You just go for it. You're so bold. You're just so risky. You're so unapologetic, and that's what I love about that. I love about you. So, and I think that you will touch so many lives. You will be still, I believe in you. I know that you will create your brand, Britt, and you will be able to be really that genuine person that you are, and people will be like really wanting to talk to you, sit with you, and just share their dreams with you, and you will be able to take it and use it to make this place a better place to be. So,
Oh
thank
yeah.
you so much, Britt, for being with us, from calling us from Texas itself, and connecting with and bringing us such a maybe good energy, good weather, so we'll be able to use it and run with it. So you guys out there, just please listen to what Britt had to say. Follow your dreams, be risky sometimes, surround yourself with the right people, and do not be apologetic about your dreams, your goals, and who you are. That was Ilona from IP Resilience. Stay blessed, happy, and we'll see you next time.